Okay. Because you are all so clever and you learn so quickly, you're on the ball, we're on a roll, we're going to graduate to the 4th level book, okay? We're going to start working from the 4th level book. So, and what I'd like to do is to review some verb tenses. Now, either with another teacher or with me, we've covered present tense and past tense and future tense, and we've covered present perfect and past perfect, and we've covered at different times future perfect, and we've also discussed present continuous and past continuous. I mean, you've been through exercises. You've been taught a lot of different verb tenses, so. It's not really necessary, it's not important to remember which is past perfect, which is future perfect. You know, those are grammar terms. Those are grammar terms. And we use those just to like explain why how we would use that tense. But in everyday speaking, in everyday conversation, you just know without thinking which tense to use. And so we're going to practice that. We're going to practice using the correct tense. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is in this book, Ventures 4, we're going to turn to page 4. We're going to turn to page 4. Good morning. Good morning. So, we all ready? Now, on page 4, what we need to do is supply the correct. We need to use the correct number 4, where it says B, exercise B on page number 4. And what we need to do is to use the correct tense in this paragraph. Now, in each blank, we're given the verb, but the verb is in the wrong tense. So we have to change the verb to the correct tense based on the way we would use that in the sentence. So, for example, the first sentence is last Monday evening, I was driving home from work. Well, the verb, we're told in the blank there, the verb to use is drive. But in this case, I had to, well, the instructions are to change the verb drive to the correct tense, which is was driving. Was driving. And the point I want to make is that it's not so important to remember, okay, was driving. Is that past perfect? Is that future perfect? Is that present continuous? Well, that doesn't matter. What matters is that we use the correct tense. So what I'm going to do is we're not going to try to remember which is the correct, what's the name of the tense. We just want to make sure we use the correct tense in the sentence. And this is a way of just reviewing or reinforcing our knowledge of the correct tense. So I did the first one, and we'll start with Nat. And then Nat, if you do number 2. Last Monday evening, I was driving home from work when which verb would we use there for number 2, Nat?
I have had a car.
That's correct, had. So we've changed have to had, because we're talking about something that had already happened. Okay, Toy, you would do number 3.
It was that.
Correct, yeah. We have to, the verb be which means something that's happening right now. We have to change it to was because that's the correct form for something that's happened in the past, okay? And then, let's see, number 4.
And it was rain.
And it was raining. Correct. Yeah. We're on a roll. And then number 5.
I was stopping for red light.
Well, where it says about 5 blocks from my house.
Was stopped
I
for a red light.
about 5 blocks from my house. Number 5.
Stop for about 5 blocks from my house. I stopped for a red light.
That's correct. Stopped. We change the verb stop, which means we're doing it in the present. We're doing it right now, and we change that to stopped. And that would be spelled, the way we would spell that is S-T-O-P-P-E-D. So we changed the tense to the past by adding ed. Now, the only way, sometimes when we add ed, we just add ed, and sometimes we add another letter. And there's no real rule. There's no rule that says when we do and when we don't. You just have to remember. It's just one of those things where we have to remember. For example, jump. We change that to past tense by simply adding ed. But when we do stop, when we change stop to past tense, we add another P in ed. And there's no rule. You just have to remember that that's the way it's done. Okay, so then let's see, we're at number 6. Chop.
While I was waiting for the light to change, another car hit my car.
Okay, very good. While I was waiting. Okay, where it says, I guess the driver, number 8. Pip?
I guess a driver not saw me, didn't saw me. I didn't see me because of them.
Correct. Yeah, now that is absolutely correct. You could say did not see me, or you could say didn't, which is a contraction of did not. Yeah. Didn't is the same thing as did not.
ไม่ก็เขียนเมื่อกี้ชอบอ่านเกินไม่ก็อ่านเกิน
ไม่ถึงฮิตเลยตอนนี้
ไม่เมื่อกี้เขาเห็นนะ
Number 6 or number 7, number 7 or number 8.
Yeah, well,
รถcar hit my car. I guess the driver didn't see me because of the rain.
that's correct.
Hit.
Another car hit my car, and hit is one of those verbs. Hit is one of those verbs that does not change when we change the tense. And then I guess the driver either did not see me because of the rain or didn't see me because of the rain. Both would be correct. So far we're getting them all correct. Now, the sentence with number 9, where it says the accident. Kat?
The accident damaged my car barely.
Correct. Damaged. All we did was add a D at the end, and that changed the tense. We didn't have to add an ED because there's an E already at the end of that word. So that's correct. So then number 10, Ben.
It's since the accident, I went to work by bus.
That's correct. And the next sentence for number 11, Pew.
It's really inconvenient because I was working more than 20 miles from my home.
That's correct. And we said was working because what we want to say to the listener is that I was working in the past and I'm working still now. And was working is the way we say that. It's not important that we remember that that is past continuous. I mean, the grammar term is not that important. The important thing is that we use the correct tense. So very good. And so then the next sentence that starts with the bus is slow. Your turn.
The bus is slow and I was
Late.
being late several times already.
That's correct. That's correct. The bus is slow and I was,